You know, this was a problem created by 3 generations of progressive reformers.
And a corporation to just take over a caravan park, tell people that they've got 6 months to leave, get rid of everything. And it's just horrible. This is their home.
Zoning regulations, building regulations, environmental reviews, all of these things are well intended. All of them were intended to address real problems that ordinary Americans have. But in aggregate, what they've done is they've made it almost impossible to build.
The philosophy of Henry George, often referred to as Georgism, is a compelling framework for understanding and addressing the root causes of economic inequality, social justice, and the housing crisis. At its core, George's philosophy rests on a simple but profound insight: land and natural resources, as the shared inheritance of humanity, should not be monopolized or hoarded for private gain, but managed in ways that benefit everyone. This video explores George's principles, their implications for contemporary society, and how they can provide solutions to pressing challenges such as housing affordability, inequality, and economic instability. The foundation of Henry George's philosophy. Henry George's economic thought emerged during the late 19th century, a period marked by rapid industrialization, urbanization, and growing inequality. His most influential work, Progress and Poverty, in 1879, begins with a paradox that remains relevant today. Technological progress and economic growth, instead of reducing poverty, often exacerbated inequality. George identified the root cause of this paradox in the way society treats land and natural resources. Unlike other forms of property, land is not created by human effort. Its value arises from location, community development, and natural attributes. As such, George argued that the unearned income derived from land, known as economic rent, should be taxed for the public benefit. At the heart of George's philosophy is the principle of economic justice. He contended that while individuals are entitled to the fruits of their labor, the value of land belongs to the community as a whole. This idea challenges the conventional notion of private property in land, which George saw as a source of inequality and economic inefficiency. By privatizing land, societies allow individuals to profit from something they did not create, while others are excluded from accessing a vital resource. George's remedy was straightforward: replace taxes on labor, capital, and production with a single tax on land value. This land value tax would not only redistribute unearned wealth, but also incentivize productive use of land, discourage speculation, and fund public goods. Key principles of Henry George's philosophy. Number 1, land as a common resource. George believed that land as a gift of nature is inherently different from man-made goods. While individuals should have secure possession of land for productive use, they should compensate society for its exclusive use. The compensation collected through a land value tax would ensure that land's value benefits everyone. Number 2, the single tax. The cornerstone of George's philosophy is the single tax on land value. Unlike taxes on wages or capital, which discourage productive activity, a land value tax targets unearned income and does not distort economic incentives. This tax would replace all other taxes, simplifying the tax system and promoting fairness. Number 3, eliminating rent seeking. George identified rent seeking, profiting from ownership of scarce resources without contributing to their production, as a major source of inequality. By taxing land value, George's system would prevent landlords and speculators from extracting excessive rents, ensuring that wealth is generated through productive activity rather than exploitation. Number 4, equality of opportunity. George's philosophy aims to create a level playing field where everyone has access to the resources needed for a fulfilling life. By redistributing the economic rent of land, society can provide universal access to education, healthcare, and other public goods, fostering equality and social cohesion. Number 5, environmental stewardship. Georgia's principles align with modern concerns about environmental sustainability. By recognizing land and natural resources as common assets, his philosophy encourages their responsible and efficient use, reducing waste and environmental degradation. How Henry George's ideas can help today's society. The relevance of George's ideas has only grown in the face of contemporary challenges such as rising inequality, housing crisis, and environmental degradation. His principles offer a blueprint for addressing these issues by tackling their root causes rather than merely treating their symptoms. Addressing housing affordability. One of the most pressing issues today is a lack of affordable housing, particularly in urban centres. The escalating cost of land is a major driver of housing unaffordability as landowners and speculators profit from rising property values without contributing to housing supply. Georgia's land value tax would address this problem by reducing incentives for land speculation and hoarding. By taxing the value of land, governments could encourage its productive use, leading to increased housing supply and lower costs. Also, the revenue generated from land value taxes could be used to fund affordable housing initiatives and infrastructure development, reducing economic inequality. Inequality is exacerbated by the concentration of land ownership and the accumulation of unearned wealth in the hands of a few. In many societies, landowners benefit disproportionately from rising land values, while renters and workers bear the burden of high housing costs and stagnant wages. Georgia's system would redistribute the wealth generated by land, ensuring that it benefits the entire community. The redistribution could reduce income and wealth disparities, creating a more equitable society. Simplifying the tax system. Modern tax systems are often complex, inefficient, and regressive, with taxes on labour and consumption disproportionately affecting low-income individuals. Georgia's single tax on land value offers a simpler and fairer alternative. By eliminating taxes on wages, sales, and capital, his system will reduce economic distortions and administrative costs, freeing up resources for productive investment and innovation. Promoting economic stability. Speculative bubbles in real estate markets are a recurring source of economic instability, leading to financial crisis and recessions. George's philosophy addresses the speculative nature of land markets by taxing land value, making it less attractive as a speculative asset. This would reduce the frequency and severity of real estate bubbles, contributing to greater economic stability, enhancing environmental sustainability. George's principles also have important implications for environmental policy. By recognizing natural resources as common assets, his philosophy encourages their sustainable use and management. A land value tax could be extended to include other forms of natural wealth, such as carbon emissions or resource extraction, promoting environmental stewardship and mitigating climate change. Several jurisdictions have implemented policies inspired by Henry George's ideas, demonstrating their practical benefits. For example, in the United States, Pennsylvania's cities of Pittsburgh and Harrisburg have experimented with land value taxation, leading to increased investment in urban development and reduced property speculation. Similarly, Hong Kong's land lease system, which captures a significant portion of land value for public revenue, has enabled the city to invest in infrastructure and public services. Internationally, there is growing interest in George's principles as a means of addressing housing crisis and inequality. Organizations like the Henry George Foundation and the International Union for Land Value Taxation continue to advocate for the adoption of land value taxation, highlighting its potential to transform economic systems and promote social justice. The moral imperative of Georgism. At its core, Henry George's philosophy is not just an economic framework, but a moral vision for a just and inclusive society. It challenges us to rethink our relationship with land and natural resources, recognizing them as shared inheritance rather than private commodities. By aligning economic policy with principles of fairness, efficiency and sustainability, George's ideas offer a pathway to a better future for all, a vision for the future. Learning the principles of Henry George is more than an academic exercise. It is a call to action. His philosophy provides a powerful critique of the inequalities and inefficiencies that plague modern economies, as well as a practical framework for addressing them. By embracing George's principles, societies can tackle the root causes of the housing crisis, inequality, and environmental degradation, creating a world where prosperity is shared, opportunities are equal, and the environment is protected. As we look at challenges of the 21st century, the relevance of George's ideas is clearer than ever. By rediscovering and applying his principles, we can build a fairer, more sustainable, and more prosperous society for future generations.